Ken Whiting with Paddle TV, and in this video we are talking about how to choose the right inflatable kayak, and more specifically how to choose the right Sea Eagle inflatable kayak, something that I have a pretty deep understanding of because I've tested each of the models of Sea Eagle's kayaks over the past few years. And of course I'll leave a link to the full reviews in the description box down below. But whether you're looking at a Sea Eagle kayak specifically or not, this video will help you choose the right inflatable kayak. And so let's start by talking about why. Why would you get an inflatable kayak, or any portable kayak for that matter? And it's really pretty simple. If you don't have the means of transporting a full-size kayak or the means of storing a full-size kayak, you need a portable kayak. But portable kayaks are also great. I use them a lot for traveling and flying, and in particular, they fit in a bag and you can check them on to an airplane. Some people need them, other people, they love the benefits that they offer. Now, the benefits of inflatable kayaks themselves. Well, inflatable kayaks, there's a lot of great things about them. For one thing, they're very easy to set up and quick to set up, nearly always under 10 minutes. They're also quite light compared to a full-size hard-shell kayak of the similar style, size. They're versatile because of their inflatable nature. They hold air, and so you can't really swamp an inflatable kayak. If water piles in, a wave breaks on you or whatever, or you capsize the boat somehow, well, the boat isn't going to sink. It's going to float just fine, and you can paddle it to shore and empty it out. Or a lot of inflatable kayaks are actually self-bailing, and we'll get into that. Inflatable kayaks are also inherently pretty comfortable because they're soft. And one of the biggest benefits for a lot of people is the fact that there's an inflatable kayak for almost any budget. In fact, the cheapest Sea Eagle kayak I'm going to be talking about here is $230, and it comes with a paddle. Now, the downside of inflatable kayaks, well, the obvious one that people are often concerned about is the fact that they can be punctured. That being said, all of the Sea Eagle kayaks that I'm going to be talking about today, all of Sea Eagle's kayaks, period, come with a 3-year warranty. And that obviously says a lot about their confidence in the product not puncturing, but it can happen. They all come with repair kits, and repairs are super easy and quick to do. They can nearly always be repaired. But one of the big concerns is what happens if I'm on the water and the kayak gets punctured? Well, that's not that big of an issue either. Quality inflatable kayaks are designed not with one big air chamber compartment. So if you get a puncture, the whole thing doesn't lose air, deflate. Quality inflatable kayaks will have 3 or more. So if you do lose one, well, if it has 3, you still have 2/3 of the kayak, which is going to be inflated. It's not going to paddle great, but you can get yourself to shore. You can continue to paddle. If not, have a great day doing it. So there you go. That's why you'd want a portable kayak. That's why the pros and cons of inflatable kayaks overall. Now let's talk about how to choose the right Sea Eagle inflatable kayak. And we're going to start with the most economical, the most budget-friendly kayak series that they have, which is the Sport Kayak series. But before I dive right in, I need to take a quick second to thank the sponsor of this video, and that's PaddleWays. PaddleWays is a new and free app that's designed by paddlers for paddlers, and those are few and far between. More specifically, PaddleWays is designed to be an all-in-one tool for knowing how, where, and when to go paddling. It's like an interactive guidebook where you can find all the information you need to plan your paddling trip. You can measure distances, view access points, campsites, check the weather and water levels. You can even find shuttle services, and you can see other paddlers' notes and photos. It's a collaboration between NRS, OnWater, and American Whitewater, and it's new. And it's got a lot of information up there right now, but more is being added every day, so definitely worth downloading. It's available at Google Play or the App Store. All right, so getting right into it. Sea Eagle's Sport series of kayaks is their entry-level or gateway kayak. These are the kayaks that allow new paddlers to try kayaking as affordably as possible to see if it's something that they want to do. The sport kayaks are also the lightest of the Sea Eagle kayaks. Now, there are two models of the sport series. There is the 330 and the 370. The 330 is designed for 1 to 2 paddlers, and the 370 is designed for 1 to 3 paddlers. Now, the 330 says it's for 1 to 2 paddlers, but 2 full-sized adults are going to be pretty snug in the 330. So if you're getting this kayak primarily to use as a tandem, I would definitely get the larger one, the 370. That being said, the 330 is good for 2 smaller people or an adult and a kid. The sport kayak packages start at $230 for the 330 and $300 for the 370. And that comes with a pump, a repair kit, a carry bag, and paddle or paddles, depending on the package. It also comes with inflatable seats, but I would definitely recommend upgrading to the deluxe seats because they're a lot nicer. The kayaks weigh 26 and 33 pounds. They have a capacity of 500 and 650 pounds. They both have 2 fins or skegs on the bottom to help them track, and they both are made with 3 air chambers for safety. Now, they're only inflatable to about 1.1 PSI, which doesn't make them that rigid or firm, and it does impact performance, so we'll talk about that in a bit. And as I mentioned before, they come with a 3-year warranty. Now, what are the sport kayaks primarily designed for? Well, they're great flat water boats for lakes, ponds, rivers, but the nice thing about the sport kayaks is that they're versatile. Because they are inflatable in nature and they can't swamp, you can take these boats into mild rough water, and they say whitewater up to class 2, or lakes with waves on it, because you're not going to swamp and end up having to swim to shore with these boats. Now, the benefits of the sport kayak series is first and foremost price. I mean, the fact that $230 or $300, the package gets you everything you need except a PFD, really, that's pretty amazing. The other benefit is they're incredibly stable kayaks. So if you're concerned about falling out of the boat, flipping the kayak, that is a very small concern with these boats. And then the versatility, the fact that these aren't just flat water kayaks. These are kayaks that you can take into mild whitewater, into rougher open water situations. And that means that these are more than just gateway kayaks. These aren't the kind of kayaks that you're going to buy, learn that, hey, I love paddling, now I need to upgrade to a different kayak. No, you can actually progress with these kayaks. Now, the weaknesses of the sport kayak series, there are 2. First being the fact that they only pump up to 1.1 PSI. And that's just because of the more economical construction of the kayaks. Now, the downside of that is that it affects performance. That because they're not rigid and they're not going to perform like a hard shell kayak, they're soft and you lose paddling performance from it. They have 2 integrated fins on the bottom, on the hull of the kayak, but unlike some of the other Sea Eagle kayaks that have a single large fin, the 2 small fins don't do as good of a job to keep this boat tracking. And so it's not as fast, doesn't stay on course as well. It's not as fun to paddle as some of the other Sea Eagle kayaks. So who is the sport kayak series for? Well, very simply, it's for someone who wants a budget, a cheap kayak to try kayaking and see if it's something that they like. But also, they want that kayak not to have to be upgraded right away. If they do like kayaking, they can stick with that kayak for some time. And secondly, this is for someone who is willing to give up paddling performance in order to have a cheaper and more stable kayak. Next up is Sea Eagle's latest addition, the Lite 10. Now, there's only one size of this kayak, the Lite 10. It's a 10-foot kayak that has a capacity of 325 pounds. Packages start at $899 US. The kayak is 10 feet long, 32 inches wide, and it weighs only 28 pounds with the seat. What makes the Lite 10 unique is that it's made with all drop stitch construction that you can pump to 10 PSI. That makes it very rigid. And it performs well because of it. It also has a V-shaped hull. Now that V-shaped hull is designed to allow the boat to track or go straight on the water, which it does very well for a 10-foot kayak. It does it even better because it has a large removable fin. So when you stop paddling, the boat doesn't spin out. It has foot braces, 5 carry handles, and a reinforced floor for durability. So what kind of paddling is the Lite 10 designed for? Well, it's primarily designed for flat water, but it can handle some mild rough water. So you can take it into big lakes, into the ocean, into rivers with mild class 1 current, but not into rough water. So what are the benefits of the Lite 10? Well, first and foremost, it's very light, highly portable, and easy to inflate. And the other benefit is that for a 10-foot kayak, it performs very well because of the drop stitch construction and the V-hull. As for weaknesses, well, its biggest weakness is that it doesn't handle rough water very well. So who is the Lite 10 for? Well, it's for someone who is going to be paddling in primarily flat water or mild paddling conditions and wants a highly portable, light kayak that is quick and easy to inflate and deflate, and someone who is willing to spend a little premium for the drop stitch construction, which provides a higher performing paddling experience, a funner paddling experience, and has a reinforced floor for durability. So next up we have the Explorer series of kayaks, and these are by far the most versatile of Sea Eagle's inflatable kayaks. They can handle everything from flat water to fairly substantial whitewater. There are 4 sizes of the Explorer kayaks, from the 300X, which is around 10 feet long and designed for 1 person, to the 420X, which is designed for up to 3 people. And this includes the 350FX, which is a kayak fishing specific version. The Explorer kayak packages start at $800 for the 300X to $1,100 for the 420X. And they all come with seats, pump, repair kit, carrying bag, and paddle or paddles. They weigh 31 pounds to 44 pounds. They have a capacity of 400 to 850 pounds. They all have large removable fins for tracking, and they have 3 main air chambers for safety. They also have high pressure drop stitch floors that pump up to 10 psi to give the kayaks rigidity. They're self-bailing with 16 open and shut drain valves, and they have a reinforced fabric floor for added protection. And as I mentioned before, they come with a 3-year warranty. So what kind of paddling are the Explorer kayaks good for? Well, pretty much everything from touring to fishing, kayak camping, whitewater, you name it. This is an incredibly versatile kayak series. Now, the benefits of the Explorer kayak series is, well, first and foremost, the versatility of them, but secondly, the durability. They're very durable kayaks, especially with the reinforced fabric floor, but also one of the key benefits is they're very stable kayaks. In terms of weaknesses, well, the one weakness is the fact that they don't offer great paddling performance. They're not that fast. They do have the drop stitch floor that pumps up to 10 psi, and they do have that large removable fin, and so they perform, and they're much faster, or significantly faster than the sport kayaks, but they aren't as fast as some of the other models. So who are the Explorer kayaks for? Well, these kayaks are for someone who doesn't prioritize paddling performance on flat water. They would rather have a jack-of-all-trades kayak that can pretty much handle everything, and would prefer to have a kayak that's going to be durable and stable over fast. Hey, can't you see I'm talking? This brings us to the FastTrack series of kayaks. A series of kayaks that are designed to provide the ideal balance of performance and stability. They're designed to excel in flat water to mild rough water, mild whitewater conditions. Now there are 3 models of the FastTrack kayaks. You've got 2 versions of the 385, both of which are designed for 1 to 2 paddlers, one of which is kayak fishing specific. And then you've got the 465 FastTrack, which is designed for 1 to 3 paddlers. The FastTrack packages start at $1,000 for the 385 and $1,300 for the 465. And they come with seats, pump, repair kit, carrying bag, and paddles or a paddle. They weigh 35 or 44 pounds. They have a capacity of 635 pounds to 800 pounds. They all have large removable fins for tracking, and they have a unique rigid inflatable bow keel to help tracking even more. Of course, they have 3 main air chambers for safety, and they have a high pressure drop stitch floor that can be pumped up to 10 psi for rigidity. There's 2 open and shut drain valves, which lets you drain the boats on and off the water. They have a reinforced fabric floor for added protection, and a 3-year warranty. Now, what does the FastTrack series of kayaks do really well, and who's it for? Well, it is a very versatile kayak, but it's not as versatile as the Explorer series. It simply doesn't deal with rough water as well as the Explorer series does. But the trade-off is that it deals with flat water better. It's a higher performing kayak in flat water. And that's largely due to the rigid inflatable bow keel that they've put on this thing. I think it is completely unique to any kayak. I've never seen it on another inflatable kayak. It helps hold the bow in place while you're paddling so it goes straight more efficiently. The kayak also has a slight taper shape to it from stern to bow, which helps it cruise through water a little bit more efficiently as well. So the benefits of the FastTrack series, well, it's a versatile kayak with an emphasis on flat water performance. It's very durable. It has the reinforced fabric floor, which is a nice bonus, and it's extremely stable. This is why it's a good fishing kayak, because you can actually stand and fish from the kayak. As for weaknesses, well, it doesn't deal as well with rough water as the Explorer series, and it doesn't have as much performance as the next series we're going to be talking about, the Razorlight series. So who are the FastTrack kayaks for? Well, these are kayaks for people who want a versatile kayak, something they can go touring with, kayak camping with, fishing with, but they're going to spend most of their time in flat water conditions. That might get rough at times. It's for someone who wants more paddling performance from their kayak, but doesn't want to give up too much stability to get that performance. This brings us to the last series of kayaks, the Razorlight series of kayaks, which are hands down the fastest, highest performing kayaks in Sea Eagle's lineup. And they also are made completely with drop stitch construction, which makes them almost as rigid as a hardshell kayak. There are 2 models in the Razorlight series. You've got the 393, which is designed for 1 person, and then you've got the 473, which is designed for 1 or 2 people. The Razorlight packages start at $1,100 for the 393 and $1,300 for the 473, and of course they come with seats, pump, repair kit, backpack, and paddles. They weigh 35 pounds and 44 pounds. They have a capacity of 500 pounds and 750 pounds. They both have large removable fins for tracking. They both have 3 main air chambers for safety, and all of these chambers are drop stitch construction, which means the whole boat gets pumped to 10 psi. It has 2 open and closed drain valves. It also has a rigid bow and stern mold to help the boat slice through the water. It has adjustable foot braces, a reinforced fabric floor for added protection, and of course, a 3-year warranty. So what are the Razorlight kayaks designed for? Well, very simply, they're touring machines. These kayaks are designed to travel fast and efficiently through the water so you can cover distance. And the way they do this, well, there's a few different ways. The all drop stitch construction makes the boats very rigid, and so they do perform more like a hard shell kayak. They're also narrower than all the other Sea Eagle kayaks. They're only 28 inches wide. That makes them faster, but it should be noted that it gives up some stability. The kayaks also have hard bow and stern molds that help the kayak pierce and slice through the water more efficiently. The benefits of the Razorlight series, pretty straightforward: speed and efficiency of travel through the water. But they're also durable kayaks. They have the reinforced fabric floor, and there's lots of space for gear if you want to go kayak camping. Now, what are the weaknesses? Well, the one big weakness you could say is the fact that it's not as stable as the other Sea Eagle kayaks. That's what you give up by having a narrower and faster kayak. Sea Eagle says that this kayak is really designed for intermediate paddlers and up. I believe that this kayak can be a great beginner kayak as well, but you do have to go into it as a beginner knowing that there's a better chance of capsizing, falling out of the boat. If you're comfortable with that, it is a fast, fun kayak for beginner to expert paddlers. So who are the Razorlight kayaks for? Well, this is a kayak for people that want a durable kayak, but more importantly, they want a fast and fun kayak where they can cover some real distance with it. It's for someone who is willing to give up some real stability in order to have that performance. Now, when we talk about giving up stability, this isn't a highly unstable kayak by any means. It's just not nearly as stable as the other Sea Eagle kayaks, which really prioritize stability over forward paddling performance. Well, there you have it. I hope this video helps you choose the right Sea Eagle kayak. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm not just talking about these kayaks from what I've read. I've tested each of these kayaks in depth and I've done a full review of them. I'm leaving the links to those full reviews in the description box down below so you can dig deeper if one of these sounds like the right fit for you. If you have experience with any of these kayaks, I only tested them for a day or so. Many of you out there will have tested them for days, months, even years. Please leave a comment down below. Share your experiences with these kayaks. And otherwise, stay tuned because I got more gear reviews, more paddling tips, and lots more paddling adventures coming your way.